Hey everybody, it's me, Fawful the Lego, and here we are once again. Okay, let's get that camera straight. Alright, now here we go. So what we're doing here is like, it's kind of like the backdrop of the stage itself. It's a rather colorful little backdrop, and it's as like 80s, 90s as you can get. So what we're doing here is just getting the primer layer. This is mainly just to, just get a coat of paint on there, on a blank sheet of paper. And, you gotta make sure that, it doesn't stick to the newspaper, and that would not be good. There goes that dog again. If you can hear the dog barking, then I have no idea. Anyway. So basically we just get in a light coat of paint, light coat of blue paint. This will not be the main prevailing color. We're just getting this on to get a more of a, the balance of the color that we want, and that is kind of a bluish color. So let's just get a full layer. All right. Now, the purpose of primer colors is to, so that the colors that you paint afterwards can show up more. And that, if that's where you can understand. Anyway, so I'm just putting emphasis on the certain areas where I'm gonna keep it blue. So what you're gonna need is a what's it called? A feathery brush. I don't know. It looks like a typical makeup brush. It's very soft, and when you like tap at it, like when you tap down on it in the paper, it gets this like bubbly texture, and that's what we want. So just do that. Keep doing that. And get a little bit of blue. All right. So it gets that texture. And remember, this is going to be the paint that we're using right now is rather light, and it's basically just kind of like a secondary primer, because we're going to put in more colors. And don't listen to my hand; it's not synchronized with my voice. It's just like I'm just showing off. Anyway. So what we're going to do now is put in a red layer. So if you've seen the little backdrop, then you know pretty much where the colors go. But in case you don't know, here's pretty much where the colors are. So let's just get a little bit of red in there. Alright, so just make sure we get to the areas that we want. Alright, so that looks like all the red. And now we're just dabbing it just to get that texture. Alright, clean up the brush. And on to the next one. This is going to be the green layer. The green layer. So we're going to use a couple different varieties of green. I have a rather plainish green and a rather iridescent green. So if you can see like that. Oh, and also a little bit of blue that we used before, just to have it blend a little. So we're gonna, blend it all around, so that it, keeps a bit of a consistent color, so that it doesn't look like it's just one splotch of color here and one splotch of color there. There needs to be like a little bit of transition between the colors, if you understand what I'm saying. Alright. So now this is kind of a purplish layer. It's actually going to go over top the blue. Most of it. Some of it's going to be kind of like its own thing, but it's mostly going to cover the blues so that we can get the tone that we want. So let's just cover up the blue. Voice is kind of a little squeaky today. Anyway, so let's make sure we got everything. Let's just get the basic premise. And I think we're going to use a little more blue. Yes. Alright. So I'm kind of like using the lighter blue, kind of in the center of these splotches. Alright, so that's what we're getting at. Just a dab for texture. Alright. That's looking good. And so this is pretty much, let's see, white, blue, red, green. So this is like the 5th layer that we're doing. So make sure it's, so this is what we got so far. I really like the colors that I went for. I really love the textures I'm just glad it works so well. So we're gonna add a little bit more red. Let's clean off our brush. Alright, that's looking good. So the red isn't kind of like receding a bit, so we're just kind of painting it on it. Also, just to get a little more blending. Alright. So, remember, once the paint dries, for each layer, after it dries, you gotta make sure to press it down with a book or something like that. Alright, so this is kind of a tannish yellow layer. And so I'm gonna put in the tan, there it is, right there. And we're just gonna blend the 2 colors. I don't actually blend colors often. It's just not really like something I like doing, because it's just a tedious process, and yeah, we gotta get that a little darker. Let's use a lot more. Alright, now we're going. So like we're getting the general area of the yellow tan. And so, alright, so here are the other areas. There's a bit on the top corner, a bit on that other side, and a little bit in the center from what the stage backdrop originally was. And actually, I think I made a bit of a mistake. The yellow color is actually a bit too much in the center, so I'm just trying to blend it down. Yeah, see? So, alright. So this is what it looks like so far. Alright. Alright, so this is what it looks like. The backdrop, you know. And, so I don't really have much information on the Drew Carey stage, so that's pretty much all I have. Yeah, I didn't show anything about painting the tan paint, the wood paint, so you've pretty much just got the 2nd layer of me painting it. Yeah, I couldn't find it, strangely enough. Anyways, so I'm sorry I don't have much more information on it. So let's just go ahead and get the 2nd layer on. This is going to be a lighter layer. And I will show you the Drew Carey desk, the kind of the skeletal the skeletal structure, if you will, and then you can just kind of base it off that. It's kind of like 3 studs high. Oh, what we're doing here is just adding kind of like details on the side of the desks, on the sides of the desk. I gotta be more careful where I place my S's. And so this is just like kind of like making a rectangle of sorts. And let me just clear up that little mistake right there. Alright. There we are. That's good. And here's what it looks like when it's pretty much finished. We got those little rectangles there. And what are we doing next? Oh, we're painting the top part a lot lighter than what it normally is, because it adds a little bit more texture and lighting consistency. All right, so just basically use a more white when using your tan paint, and there we are. Have a look right there. All right. Now, on to putting on the front light. So, basically last time we put on orange paint on the kind of the structures, sides of the... kind of doing that. That's what we're doing, you know, putting orange paint to put on, like, the neon lights. Oh, my favorite part about... I just remember a particular episode where Ryan Stiles was Carol Channing, and he actually, you know, in character, he was... The gimmick was he was magnetized to things, so he headed for the desk, and he actually broke one of the lights. And he still stayed in character as he was just trying to figure out if there was any glass shards in his head and asking if he was bleeding. It was just a... You gotta love Ryan Stiles. He's just such a great guy. He's just so nice, and he's good at improvising. So this is pretty much the first layer of the lights. Now we're going to add the lighter part. And so... But yeah, Ryan Stiles is my personal favorite. Everybody knows that Colin is the best when it comes to Whose Line. But I have a personal preference towards Ryan Stiles, and, you know, just the way he can just deal with things. Especially Colin. Especially, you know, dealing with Colin, you know. And that's the finished product. Look at all that tan paint on my fingers. So basically this is the skeleton structure, and you can just like pause it, you know, to get an idea. And so you can just fit the slot, fit the top slot right down there. And now we're just going to use some double stick tape to make it fit alongside the structure. Let's move Nappa Drew Carey out of the way for a second and get the other piece of tape. Alright. And that is the table. So let's just make sure that the top part is just perfectly slotted in. Alright, let's add back Drew Carey anytime now. I'm just making sure things stay. So I added a couple of features. I forgot to put in the buzzer, actually. So there's the letter, and there's his cup. He drinks Pepsi. And so this is the finished project. Minus the black layer of the black flooring. And I would show you the black flooring, you know, the process of me putting it down, but one, it's a lot of black flooring. You just gotta find black pieces, black flat pieces. This is what it looks like once it's all laid down. I had a hard time finding so many, but I ended up doing it nonetheless. And here comes the fun part. We are going to put down the chairs. Let us set up the chairs. Favorite episode of Regular Show. And kind of ironically enough, there's probably just as many chairs as they were setting down, the Regular Show guys, Mordecai and Rigby. And get ready for super speed. And we're done with the chairs. And let's put down friend with the applause sign. And now let's get ready for Speed Up Part 2. Alright, so that's everything. And here's the entire stage with all the audience and friend with the applause. And so that's basically what we got. I hope you all enjoy. And see you next time when I do another, tutorial. See you next time.